Having a website to show your artwork these days is a must. It's likely you won't be taken seriously as an artist if you don't. Creating amazing art is just part of the puzzle. You might have heard the saying, it's easier to sell bad art with good marketing than good art with bad marketing. And having your own website is a great place to start. It gives you a central place to show your work and also makes a professional first impression. But what actually makes a great artist website? I've had mine for a few years now and I've consistently been updating and tweaking it along the way. I've also spent a lot of time looking at other artists' websites, so I've picked up some tips on what works and what doesn't. My own artist website is hosted with Hostinger and I really like them, particularly because they're super easy to use, even if you're not very tech savvy like me. And they're also affordable, which is great if you're just starting out and you can't justify an expensive website just yet. If you're thinking about starting or upgrading your own site, then I can recommend Hostinger's business plan. It includes an e-commerce plan, so you can set up a shop and start selling your work directly from your website. Plus, it also includes helpful AI tools like their SEO assistant, which if you don't know what SEO is, I'll talk a bit more about that later on. And if you use my link, which I'll include down below in the description box, and my coupon code AlexGoddard at checkout, then you get an extra 10% off of plan prices. Once you've purchased your plan, then you can get started with the AI website builder straight away. It helps you create a website in just a few minutes. It's really, really great if you're not sure where to begin. All you need to do is type in a few details, including your brand name, the type of website you want, a short description of your art or your business, and the pages that you would like to include. The AI builder then takes care of the rest. It's a really, really great starting point, as I said, to get your site up and running quickly, and you can then make tweaks from it from that point onwards. Once you've got your basic website set up, then what's next? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the most important things to do and what to avoid based on my own experience and what I've learned from studying other artists' websites. The first thing I'm going to talk about, and probably most importantly, is to have a great homepage. When it comes to your homepage, I think you should always make your art the focus. When someone lands on your website, they should immediately see your work. A really good example of this is the website of James Jean. His artwork covers the whole screen and he has minimal text on his homepage, so there's no confusion that this website is all about the art of James Jean. Make sure that when people view images of your artwork, it makes sense. So for example, having a gallery with small thumbnail size images, which is what I have on my homepage, that can then be enlarged is much more efficient than constantly having to press the back button on your browser. Try not to overwhelm your website visitors with too much text or flashy designs. Avoid using too many animations, music, or pop-ups that could distract from your art. An example of this is the Yale School of Art website. The homepage of this website is cluttered, it has a really unclear navigation, and it's a bit of a mishmash of flashing animations and inconsistent fonts and styles. Hostinger can help you to create a beautiful and effective homepage. They offer a great selection of templates that you can easily tailor to show your art, style, and personality. You can also easily add buttons like View Portfolio, Shop Now, or Contact Me, which makes navigation from your homepage easier and helps to guide visitors towards what you want them to do next. The second most important aspect of an artist's website, in my opinion, is the navigation. Try to keep your navigation bar as simple as possible. I think having around 4 to 6 clearly labelled tabs on your top navigation bar is perfect. So think of including Home, Portfolio, About, Contact, and then 2 or 3 additional ones that relate to your business. Using submenus is useful, but try not to include too many, and also try to keep everything accessible within 1 to 2 clicks. Make each section on your website distinct and purposeful so that users instantly know where to go depending on their interest. For example, if they've come to your website to buy art or if they've come to learn more about you. An example of an artist who has a great navigation on their website is Drawings by Jo. Her website features a top menu that allows visitors to easily explore different sections without confusion, and each section is well structured, provides easy access to information about Jo's artwork, background, and commissioning process. Hostinger is great for website navigation as it allows you to make simple menus using easy drag and drop tools, so you don't need any coding knowledge whatsoever. You can also add submenus and change your navigation anytime, like adding or removing things around, which I do quite a lot of. The menus automatically adjust for phones and tablets too, so visitors can use your site easily on any device. Next, moving on to your About page. I think it's really important to tell your story in a personal but professional way. People connect with you just as much as your art, so don't forget to give a sense of who you are as an artist. In most cases, I consider work before the artist, but the next thing I look for is an understanding of where the artist is coming from. So share your process, influences, or how you got started. What not to do when writing an About Me section. Remember, you're not writing a novel, and also try not to use any vague cliches. I've been drawing since I was 5 isn't necessarily bad, but it's also everyone's story, so try and be a bit more specific. For example, in my About Me page, I talk about how I got started with pet portraits. Whilst I was pregnant with my first child, I did a portrait of my brother's dog for his birthday. I shared this on social media, and a few people asked me if I was taking on commissions, to which I accepted, and it kind of snowballed from there. So I expand on this story in my About Me section, and it's a bit more personal than just saying I've been drawing since a young age. Next up is your portfolio structure. I feel like when it comes to portfolios, less is more. I include only my best pieces, and it's a good idea to organise them either into categories or into date order with your most recent work first. An example of a website that does this well is Loish, I hope I'm saying that name right, but she has a portfolio section with categories for original artwork, rough artwork, client work, and animation. She uses large thumbnails with lightbox viewing that shows the name of the piece. You can then click on the artwork and it gives you additional details of when the work was created and the theme. My advice would be to avoid uploading everything you've ever created. For example, if a piece from 10 years ago no longer reflects your current style or skill level, it might be best to leave it out. Hostinger is great for structuring your portfolio, as the website builder lets you quickly create an organised gallery to upload photos of your artwork. You can choose from grids, masonry, sliders, or carousel layouts to represent your portfolio in a way that fits with your style and makes your art look its best. You can also upload high resolution files without sacrificing site speed, and this ensures that your portfolio loads quickly and keeps your visitors engaged. As I mentioned before, your gallery will also be automatically formatted for mobile and iPad viewing, so it's going to look great and function well on any device. Next up, we have e-commerce. If you're planning to sell your artwork, it's a good idea to include an online shop on your website. If your main goal is to make sales, then you want to guide visitors from wherever they land straight to the checkout as smoothly as possible. Try and keep things simple and remove any extra steps that could slow people down. The easier it is to buy, the more likely your customers are going to follow through. I love the e-commerce section of Naomi Jenkins' website. Her artwork is nicely categorized and allows visitors to browse through various collections and find pieces they would like to purchase. The online store is well integrated, and it enables her customers to view available artwork, check prices, and make purchases directly through her website. There's a few different things that I think make a great shop section on an artist's website. The first is having clear product images. You want to make sure these are high quality photos and show your artwork from different angles or in different contexts, for example, framed on a wall. Keep your descriptions concise and informative, so include the size, medium, and if it's a limited edition print, the print number. Make sure that your pricing and shipping information is concise and easy to understand. Include clear prices, shipping costs, and delivery times. This will help build trust with your customers and reduces the chance of abandoned carts. Offer a simple checkout process. Try and minimize the number of steps needed to pay for an item and offer multiple payment options to avoid frustrating potential buyers. Make sure that any payment gateways you're using are trusted and protected. So, for example, on Naomi's website, I can see that she uses PayPal and Google Pay. Indicate if items are sold out or limited edition. This helps to create urgency and manage your customers' expectations. It's also a great idea to show any positive testimonials or reviews to reassure new buyers. And finally, offer a clear way for buyers to ask questions or request commissions if that's something they're interested in. I have a shop on my website where I sell my original artwork, greeting cards and bookmarks. It's included in the Hostinger business plan price, so I don't have to worry about any extra costs or making sales just to cover my shop fees, which is very reassuring and good to know. When I sell an original piece of artwork, I like to keep it in my shop with a sold banner. This works as kind of a portfolio and it also shows potential customers that my work is in demand. That brings me on to my last point, SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. The content, in other words, the words on your website, is the biggest way that you can influence the terms that you rank for in Google searches. For example, if you're a pet portrait artist living in West Sussex and a potential client is Googling pet portrait painting in Horsham, you will almost certainly not appear if your website doesn't have the words pet portrait painting and Horsham on it. You might have a beautiful looking gallery showing your work, but Google can't see the images like a human can. Google can't tell what the picture is, so it's your job to write words on your website that explain it. H1 headings are really important. They usually appear at the top of your page and they tell Google what your page or product is about. This helps Google match your website with people who are searching for something similar. Of course, that's just one part of the SEO puzzle. Other things that help include adding alt text to your images, using meta descriptions, and keeping your site up to date. If you're not too sure about what to do or what not to do when it comes to SEO, Hostinger has a great AI SEO assistant tool. It checks each page of your website and it gives you tips on how to improve your SEO ranking. For example, here it's highlighted areas in orange where I need to work on things like focus keywords or word count. Green ticks mean that everything's looking good. It's a really helpful tool if you're new to SEO. That brings me to the end of the video, and here's a quick recap if you're thinking about setting up your first website or updating one you already have. Make your art the main focus. Use simple, clear navigation so visitors can explore your site easily. Share a bit about yourself and your story as an artist. Keep your gallery selective and well organised with your best work. Consider adding an online shop if you'd like to sell your art. And finally, make sure you're using good SEO practices across your whole site. If you did want to try out Hostinger for yourself, then don't forget my discount link, which I'll leave in the description box below. Also, my coupon code Alex Goddard will get you an additional 10% off of plan prices. If you already have an artist website, then please let me know the name of it in the comments down below. I would love to have a look. I always like getting little snippets of inspiration from other artists' websites as I continue to build my own. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next one.